Hello, brave people of the world. So today, as everybody is saying, like 1 year of war in Ukraine, but I have to say that it's not 1 year, but 10, 9 years of war. It's tomorrow begins 10th year of war in Ukraine because war began by occupation by Russia, Crimean Peninsula. So for many people, it's like a big news. Oh, actually, whoa, I thought it's only 1 year. If we see Ukraine became an independent in 1991, so it was Soviet Republic, then we had problems with Russia about independence, Crimea. Anyway, we had guarantors for Ukraine integrity, so we gave up from nuclear weapon, and in Budapest Memorandum, USA, Great Britain, Russia, and later France and China became a guarantors of Ukrainian integrity. So what happened later? One of guarantor, Russia, attacked our integral part, Crimea, and later Donetsk region, and occupied. What about other guarantors? They were silent. So even in the Russian Forces Medal, it's written February 20th, 2014, like a date of beginning of occupation of Crimea. That time, President of USA, Barack Obama, the holder of Nobel Prize, he didn't act as a guarantor of our integrity. So some small sanctions against Russia, but generally, West was silent for attacking by one country and a member of Council of Security of United Nations in other territories. So Russia proclaimed Crimea in its constitution as part of Russian Federation, and other world like just said, oh, some sanction anyway. Relationship with Russia continue for all countries. Also, Russia helped separatists in Donetsk region. Actually, if you just logically think that yesterday workers, I don't know, homeless people just took guns and became soldiers, and then they can fight with regular Ukrainian army. So just logical think, is it possible? Of course not. So Russia sent many special forces. Of course, they didn't claim that they are Russian forces anyway. After occupation Crimea, they also occupied some territory of Ukraine. Of course, it wasn't war for whole scale. Anyway, big part of Donetsk and Luhansk region were occupied as well. Then Russia tried to press our previous president Poroshenko and later President Zelensky to sign an agreement that will make a federation of Ukraine. But we have to understand that Russia never saw Ukraine as independent country. So Putin always saw Ukrainian president as like a governor. So what Russia wanted. Russia didn't want like Crimea or Donetsk. Russia just don't want independent Ukraine. This is the biggest problem, and this is a issue that they didn't understand in the West. So Putin tried to do it, but then even Zelensky, who said that I need just peace and I'm ready to talk to Putin and we can, in the middle somehow negotiate. So Putin thought, oh, this president is going to give up and just sign whatever I want. But Zelensky didn't want it. Zelensky didn't understand Putin as well. He thought that, if you just make negotiations, everything will be okay. Anyway, after Putin understood that, sorry, Zelensky is not going to sign any capitulation, so he decided to go with full-scale attack into Ukraine in February 24th, 2022. So did I know? Was I sure? Was I sure that it is going to begin a big war? Like, I just came here to America to visit my sister a few months before February, and according to American news, I think from the beginning of February it was clear that Russia is going to attack. I wasn't sure about scale of attack. Anyway, it was evening in US when I got a news, and I was just watching with a fear, with a shock, how they were bombing my native town, Ivano-Frankivsk, and other smaller towns, of course, Kyiv and Kharkiv and Odessa and so on. And it was just shock. I couldn't get connections with any of my relatives, of my parents, of my friends. And all world media were just showing us TV series, bombing of peaceful Ukrainian towns and cities. And before that, I just saw in the movie like that. And when you know that your people are there, the people that you love are there, and they are just bombing, and you don't know, are they alive? I can explain my emotions. So I couldn't sleep a few nights, and I was just scared, trying to pray. Anyway, many people died in the first night, but I have to say that my president, he didn't prepare maybe well. Of course, maybe secretly they were doing some preparation anyway, even few days before escalation. Zelensky says that don't worry, everything will be okay. Russia doesn't have enough forces for occupy Ukraine, and it's true. Russia had about 200,000 or 300,000 soldiers in the borders of Ukraine, and it's less to occupy Ukraine. But in 2014, when a war began, when Russia attacked, we didn't have, because our president ran away, so we didn't have like a real stable government. And when just Russian forces came into our territory, like our soldiers were not ready to fight. They were part of Soviet Union, like friendship for years, so nobody waited a betrayal from Russia. Anyway, so coming back to February 2022, Putin thought that if he'll go inside in Ukraine, that it will be the same as Crimea, that all people will be scared by bombing cities and just run away. Then majority of Russian-speaking people will just support Russian army. But this is a problem with Russian propaganda, because they believe by their own in their propaganda. Mostly Russian-speaking city, Kharkiv, which just 20 kilometers, like 10-15 miles from Russian border, was bombed and attacked by Russian special forces, but most the Russian-speaking city was fighting and didn't want to give up and never give up. Same in Kyiv, like about 30,000 people, just when they have heard bombs, and when they saw bombs, they were thinking just about their children, about their wives, and about their families. So 30,000 people didn't scare, but just went and became a part of territorial defenses of Ukraine. And we had 100,000 volunteers, even we didn't have enough weapon for everybody who wanted to fight. So about 900 or around a million volunteers came into Ukrainian army and were fighting. So I think that the decisive victory was in Kyiv, and we didn't have even enough army there, just because volunteers came and got guns after a few weeks fights we won Kiev and we won Ukraine. If Kiev would be fallen, I'm sure that whole Ukraine would be occupied. So, and don't believe that Russia wanted just Donetsk region or just south and so on. They wanted to occupy and destroy whole Ukraine. They wanted, so Putin planned to have a speech in Kiev, then new big Russia renovated, and I believe the whole world would be agree with this. Anyway, Putin wouldn't stop in this. It would be the same as Hitler, when Hitler attacked Czech Republic, then Austria, then Poland, then France, then Great Britain, and then Soviet Union. Same would be with nowadays Hitler, Putin. Anyway, these plans destroyed by Ukrainian brave people and also other people who didn't go to fight. I think every second, maybe all Ukrainians just start to be volunteers inside the country, inside in Ukraine and outside all our diaspora. And as I was here, I was thinking go or not to go. It's very difficult decision. Anyway, maybe I will regret all my life that I didn't go to fight, because most of my best friends, they are fighting, like about 30 people who I know personally, they are fighting, and among them very close 5-7 friends. So I just tried to contact them, and then they were fighting in different area, in different front lines, and just I connected here with Ukrainian diaspora, because but some Americans are asking, oh, why why do you need to help your army, your government have to provide. Just imagine our industrial Donetsk region totally destroyed, industry stopped there, cities destroyed, 1,000 people flew from Ukraine. So we don't even know like how many millions left Ukraine, 5, 6, 8. These people, many of them, they lost forever their homes, their towns, their cities. Mariupol was totally destroyed. So all economy destroyed. So our state doesn't have enough money to, because our economy crashed, like about 60% of economy just crashed, and of course our country, our government provide all stuff for soldiers like uniform and so on, ammunition, and of course our Western partners. But there are many and many needs, because almost 1 million armies. So this our volunteers are doing, and it was also decisive help, because without volunteers in the first month of war, many detachment would be just even have uniform. So it was, even I being Ukrainian, I can imagine like that from whole the world where Ukrainians were they began to organize charity foundations. Just nobody tell you, but you just somehow have to find what to do, organize some meetings, talks, collections of donation of money, and people help. Sometimes like people here in America, I was really surprised, because 12 years ago when I was here for the first time, when people asked me where you from, Ukraine, nobody knew where is it. And since 2022, I saw many and many Ukrainian flags, and Americans put them, not Ukrainians. So I asked them, why did you put Ukrainian flag? Because it's a symbol of Ukrainian, because it's a symbol of freedom, because it's a symbol of brave people. So people help a lot, but very often, like people just say, oh, okay, I pray for your soldiers, I support you. But maybe if you ask them donations, maybe they don't want, I don't know, it's something what I saw. But some people donated as well. So, like I'm thinking about my friends soldiers. So they were almost like people with high education who were working as teachers, or that they had their own companies. So they didn't know for how long they are going. They just went to fight for their freedom. And now, after 1 year full scale invasion, They even don't think about their dreams, their plans. Some of people that I knew, they already died. They were like 28 years old, 31 years old. So total, how many wounded? Like 100,000 people are wounded, and so it totally changed everybody's life. So people are in front line, they have families, maybe abroad, maybe just in the western part. These soldiers, they don't know how long they are going to fight, and if they will be alive, how psychological they will be. Sorry, other people just have to run away because their cities were destroyed. And yeah, if I compare to my fellow Ukrainians, I'm in good. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, maybe I had some problem, but if I compare my problem, um, I have peaceful sky. I'm here. I have electricity. I have water. You know, many we have cold winters. We didn't have, many people didn't have water, electricity, and just our cities were bombing twice, three times in a week if it's far from front line, and just every hour in the front line. And actually, this feeling that I'm in safety, it makes guilty. It's something that never leave you. So I try to do whatever I can, make some presentation talks to explain what's going on. Of course, I'm in contact with many of my friends who are in front line. Sometimes they have a very difficult time. You know, sometimes they don't know will be they alive tomorrow. You know, I had many. Actually, every month, sometimes I don't have any news for 4 or 5 days from one person. I don't know is he or she alive or not, and it's not easy to live with this. So, and there are some stuff that I should do, but you know, when you are like you're waiting from 5 people and you don't know are they alive, or if they are bombing my town, I don't know my parents are alive or not, and it's something that you cannot used to. What I'm used to, it's like, you know, I'm used to death. Like for the first days, I was shocked how many people are dying, and now unfortunately, like it's like statistic, of course, but some persons that I know is killed. So hard for me. Maybe it's going like I'm going through thoughts about this person weeks, days, but news that today 200 people were killed. Another day 30 people died because of bombing of that city or this city or that town. It just becoming a statistic, but for each of these families, for each these people, it's tragedy, big tragedy. So imagine our children, like they don't have, they are studying under, you know, in the shelters, and they have psychological problems because they lost their parents, or just they saw um, dead people, or they were just under bombing few many times. So many of our children are abroad, and you know, it's like we feel like homeless. We had a great country. We have a great and beautiful country, and now we are in so many countries. Yeah, people supportive. Mostly people are very kind, but still, we have hope that we're going to to go back home to renovate our country. But even it shows that the second army of the world, the Russian army, like is so weak. Anyway, Russia is a big country and they don't care about their soldiers, so we are losing thousands and thousands Ukrainian soldiers, but we don't have so much human sources as Russia has. And Russia doesn't care about their people, so they are just sending my friends from frontline just saying that, you know, we are shooting and shooting and shooting, and they are coming and coming and coming. So also I don't understand. Yeah, West, USA, and NATO, and France and Germany and other countries, they help a lot, but I just don't get why it's take them so long. So tanks, why you don't give you tanks or like long distance artillery, because I think it's clear that peace, it's not when Ukraine and Russia will begin negotiation. It's when Russia will be not able anymore to attack. And how to do this? Just to destroy, because Putin is not fighting for economy. I don't believe in this. He's fighting for his place in history. He wants Russia be back as big country. He doesn't care. Even economy will be destroyed. So this is the problem, that he understands only when he loses. That's why we need weapon. Even many people who were like peacemakers, they are saying that only possible peace in Ukraine is destroying Russian army. It's destroying Russian economy, then Russia will be not able to continue the war. Because even tomorrow will be like ceasefire. Who can prove that Russia will not attack again? So this difficult year ended, but we don't know how long war is going on. That's why we have hope for democratic societies, for people of goodwill who will support Ukraine, who will press their government, and I hope that USA, as leader of the democratic world, will not wait like for such a long time to send 20 or 40 tanks, but will send us 400 tanks or 500 tanks. And believe me, when we will renovate our economy, we'll give everything back. And be sure, if Ukraine will lose this war, it will be the world war. Just even have no doubts in this. So I'm very thankful to all people of the world, for many people of goodwill, and please pray for Ukraine. Be brave as Ukraine, and I'm sure the truth always wins with the lie. Right things, right people always win against evil. God bless Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. Be brave as Ukraine.